I've noticed that both the dogs like, well, I just thought she was, but I just noticed him, he nudged for attention. So when we have dogs that don't have any rules, they see them as having the same authority as us. If they get to tell us what to do, they think they have more authority than us. And that can create stress and anxiety. So what I would do is, well, let me show you something else. Come here, sit. Come here, buddy. Come here. I don't want you blocking the camera. So when I'm petting, of course she's not going to do it now. When I was petting her before, every time she put her paw on top of my arm. She does that pretty commonly, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when a dog does that, it's saying, hey, I want you to keep doing what you're doing, which is again a dominance move or an order, controlling a resource. In this case, it's not a resource, but an interaction. Me petting her. So as soon as she puts her paw up, we need to immediately stop petting her. She can't tell us what to do. And as soon as she tries, the thing that she likes goes away or stops. So rule number one is stopping as soon as the dog puts its paw on top of you. But I consider petting a dog our way of paying the dog. And right now, these guardians are paying the dogs for doing what the dogs want. The dogs come up and nudge them, and we reach over and we pet. So that tells the dog, like I said, we have more authority than humans. So what I would do the next time the dog comes over and nudges you, instead of petting, tell the dog to sit or to lay down. Sitting and laying down are more subordinate body postures. I'm not a big believer in I don't want a dog to be submissive. I want it to be a follower, which I relate to being subordinate. So as soon as the dog nudges me, I give it a counter order, tell it to sit. As soon as it sits, and I reach over, and I like to pet a dog under its chin like this. Especially for him. We should never pet him on top of his head like this. Proud dogs have their nose parallel to the ground or tilted upward. So if I pet on top of right now he's going up, but usually dogs will orientate their nose down, which is what an insecure dog does. But if I pet under here, see how I can facilitate moving his nose up in the air. So as soon as the dog sits, as soon as the butt hits the ground, after I give the counter order to sit, then I reach over and say sit. I don't say good sit. I don't say, oh, Pistol, you're such a smart dog. Look, you sat down, because I didn't even say the command word in that situation. I'm going to say one word only, not good sit, sit. Sit. The same second my fingers touch the chin. Now, what's going to happen is now we're rewarding the dog for doing things that we want, what I call desired behaviors, sitting, coming to us, or laying down. And so after a while, the dog's going to transition, and Pistol's just going to come up and sit in front of us and say, look, I'm sitting and not nudging you. Shouldn't you be petting me? And the answer is yes, at least as much as we can. And now I talked a little bit off camera. If I'm petting him and Pistol comes up, I need to keep her off to the side and continue to pet him. Don't pet her, don't share it, because that's allowing her to steal from him. Just hold her off to the side, continue petting him. When you get done petting him, you turn to her. If she protests, when I get done, I don't pet her. But if I'm petting him and I hold her off to the side, she just sits there, then when I get done petting him, then I turn and give her my full attention. But she can't tell me what to do, either when to pet or to take petting away from him. So again, they're gonna start coming up and sitting in front of you, or they'll just come and lay at your feet. As soon as they do, within 3 seconds, pet them. A third of a second is better, but within 3 seconds maximum, reach over and pet them and say crash if that's your word for down, or sit, or whatever it is. And what I would recommend you do is stop, especially for Pistol. He's a little bit different, but for Pistol, I would recommend no more petting at all under any circumstances unless she earns it. So asking her to sit, come, or lie down is a very simple ask. We're not asking too much, but it helps her understand that I can't tell the humans what to do, number one, and number two, I have to earn attention from them, and I earn it through obedience. Obedience is the currency. So the last thing with this is you won't realize how often you're petting your dogs without even thinking about it. So help each other out. So there's 2 of you, you're going to be living together eventually. What I would do is if you come in and you see that she's petting Pistol and Pistol's standing and not sitting, you say paycheck, she's like, sit. As soon as she sits, then she does it, and then she can turn to you and say, I actually asked her to sit before you came in the room. She just got up and I continue to sit, or I continue to pet her. Now you can, after they do something, you can pet them for an hour after that. They just have to change their state in order to start getting the attention. But if you guys argue about it, if you come in and say, paycheck, and she's like, no, I asked her to sit, and then she stood up, now the dog sees that you're not on the same page, and well, it's okay for her to be on her own page. So we want to be uniform, or have some unity. So as soon as you come to it, paycheck, ask the dog to sit, and then we pet the dog. If you get into habit of doing this every single time you pet your dog, it's like a little mini dog obedience session that you do without even trying to. Now I'm going to show you how to use a hand motion. So you should raise your hand over their head. Come here. Now it's hard because the guardian just walked in the door. Sit. There we go. Sit. So I raise my hand like this. Sit. Sit. So just by raising your hand, now it's not going vertically just up, it's going over, like if this is the dog's head, I'm going over the head so the dog is tracking up, that puts their butt down, and then as soon as their butt hits the ground, we lower it, start scratching them under the chin, and we just say the word sit. So this is a gift that I will give you guys. If you guys get in the habit of doing it, you won't even realize you're doing it, but every time you do it, you help her identify as more of a follower, and you're gonna do this hundreds of thousands of times over the dog's lifetime. It's a very powerful, but one of the easiest things you can possibly do because it takes almost no time. All right, that's petting with a purpose.